Hello everyone, it's Catherine. I'm your transformational coach helping you reconnect to your deepest essence and emotions and connect with other people in a very authentic way. So I was inspired to share with you what I've shared to my email list on how to create a transformational experience for this holiday season. So my question to you is, would you like to create a different experience this holiday season? An experience of reconnection with the people that you love and the people that love you. An experience where your habits and your lifestyle habits won't bring you weight gain and will rather bring you towards a greater well-being, expand you into a greater well-being. So I was inspired to share a story from a client of mine who received my email last week, and she immediately integrated and put into action a simple thing that I suggested on how to create a transformational holiday season. And she was just sharing with me how this was transformational, not only for her family also. It was like an experience of inner healing, of liberation, of feeling so much lighter, where she could express her truth and her essence, share with the people that love her and that she loves, but in a way that was completely different than in the past. So let me give you a few pointers on how to create that, because I know the holiday seasons can be quite stressful, right? After the stress of finishing your work and buying gifts for everyone and planning for family reunions and cooking and reuniting with the people that, sometimes you don't necessarily feel like meeting with these people because a lot of deep-seated emotions and unfinished businesses can surface in the presence of our loved ones, right? So, it can be that person who has just this gift of pushing your buttons, right? Or the person who tells the same jokes and stories over and over, or the person that you might not necessarily want to see, but you have no choice to be there, right? So rather than being kind of in an inner conflict with yourself this holiday season, I'd love to inspire you to take the initiative to wear the love goggles. The love goggles, where you see these people who are part of your life, but whom you might not know really well, right? Even though we're really close with some of the people in our family, a lot of people have a tendency to assume that they know each other, while in fact, each one of you guys, each one of us grow and evolve internally in a way that this person in front of you is not the same from 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years, 20 years ago. So I would invite you to not assume that you know how this person is feeling about something. So I want to invite you to put on your love goggles and create something different this year. And if you jump into this experience, these goggles might prevent the urge to want to escape from the button pusher, or it might prevent you from having to laugh, force yourself to laugh at silly jokes that you already know, or feeling guilty. It might prevent you from feeling guilty in front of many people who've asked you a million times if you're on a diet or something, right? So with these love goggles, I want to invite you to put aside any judgment or assumption that you might have held in the past in order to really sincerely become interested in that person's inner world. And you're going to be surprised at you're probably going to find out many different things you did not know, and you're going to be surprised about the level and the depth of connection that is established quickly. So 2 things. Before I go into those 2 things, most people, hey David, thanks for being there. Most people want to interact meaningfully and connect deeper with each other, but they might not know how, right? You've probably felt like this. I know, like, I've always had an aversion for superficiality. Like, I'm not someone to stay on the surface. I like to dive deep into the emotions, deep into people's experiences, and find meaning in whatever happens in our life. I'm not someone who's going to talk about the weather and just stuff that doesn't expand. That's just who I am. So, and a lot of people want to interact on this deeper level, they just don't know how. So by wearing your love goggles, I'm going to invite you to do two things. The first thing is to borrow this person's eyes to see the world through their eyes. If you were to put yourself into the situation of, let's say you're sharing a frustration that you're going through at work, for example, and the person in front of you says, well, you're just too sensitive, just get over it, you're too stressed out, now give me another piece of cake. How would that feel to you if what you've shared was completely unacknowledged, was completely kind of wiped out, and now you were kind of forced to move toward, forward with something else, and you feel hurt inside, right? And you might hold on to that grudge, and you might hold on to that negative energy for a long time. Versus if you share something about work, I'm taking work because that's where a lot of people spend most of their life, and the person says to you, wow, I understand, I can see why this is so frustrating to you, and that you felt like you weren't good enough in that situation. And I can see how it just drained your energy, and you were dwelling on this over and over. Imagine how that would feel to just have your feelings acknowledged, and just the relief to be able to be yourself and interact on that deeper truth and that deeper level. How liberating it is, and how you can go and kind of launch yourself into a greater expansion, taking your personal power back just from that interaction of someone who borrowed your eyes to see the world through your eyes. Now, I invite you to not wait for people to do that, because most people don't do that, and most people are concerned about their own inner world. But so what if you were the first person, the person to approach the other one and borrow their eyes and ask them questions and see how you can put aside any judgment or any assumptions that you've held in the past about this person, and just see the world through their eyes for a second, and be amazed at what you discover about this person, and be amazed at the depth of connection that will happen when you acknowledge people's feelings and experience and emotions. Watch for the miracles to happen. You'll be amazed, I'm telling you. So this is the first thing, to see the world through this person's eyes and reconnect on a very deeper level. The second thing I would invite you to do when you wear your love goggles is to start asking questions that are sincere and inquisitive, non-judgmental. You put judgment aside, and you really ask questions about this person's inner world, and watch for the magic unfold. And questions could be, what has been your most joyful moment in 2019? What would you like to experience again in 2020? What would you like to change in 2020? What will having that do for you? What projects would you like to finish or start? How would you like to feel in the transition towards this new year? What is the thing that would make you feel at your best? What are you most proud of? What do you wish was different? And the million-dollar question that reconnects people in such a deep and meaningful way is, how can I love you better? Isn't that powerful? How do you think this would change? Hey, Charlie, thanks. How do you think this would change your interactions with the people that you love? How do you think it would change your vibe and energy as you enter 2020? Right? So, because most of your stress, most of our stress comes from interpersonal interactions. And as we know, when you're engaged in the stress reaction, your body takes a hit. It impairs your immune system. your metabolism goes down when you're under stress. So the body is registering that, oh, we're going to go to war because we're so stressed. So it lowers your metabolism and it packs the fat where? In the belly. So oftentimes the holiday season, you can put on a few pounds, but not just because of what you eat, because of the higher level of stress from interpersonal relationships, from unfinished businesses, from unsaid things, processed emotions. So, because remember, the three most fundamental human needs are the needs for love, safety, and belonging. Without the clan, without another person, we as human beings cannot survive. So this is kind of the biggest stress in the picture. And also with the love goggles, I invite you to look at yourself too and choose consciously to give yourself even more love, to nourish yourself at all levels. I know that when I've done this with myself, it has expanded my life in multiple ways. And since I've become a coach, a transformational coach, and I've mastered the art of asking questions, I can tell you that my relationships have deepened so much. They're so nourishing. They're so satisfying. And so this client of mine who received my newsletter last week, and she immediately took action with a family dinner that was happening last Saturday. She asked these questions and they went all around the table. And when it was her turn, she started to share from her heart, vulnerably, not diminishing her own power, regaining her own power, but saying to the people that she loves how she's a different person now. And she's letting go of the things of the past and asking for apologies if she's hurt, inadvertently the people in her life. But she was grounded, and there was so much gratefulness around her for her to share this. People were crying, and there was such a deep emotional connection. And even she received an email the next day from a family member with whom the relationship had been kind of dicey at times. And this person said to her, "Thank you so much for sharing of who you are. I have so much respect and admiration, and I love you, and I honor our relationships, and it's important to me, this relationship that we have." So she was so happy to share this with me. I'm so happy for her, because not only she's creating a different experience emotionally for herself, she's creating a different experience for everybody around the table. Do you understand that trickle effect that happens when you change, the world around you changes? And that is so true. And I'm inspired every day. And I'm so admirative of the courage and the strength of my clients to just dive deep into their deepest places and emotions, and kind of go visit these places that by themselves they wouldn't go there. And I know it because I would not have gone there by myself if it wasn't for my own coaches and mentors. But the gift, the expansion, the liberation, the freedom all of that is in these shadow areas, those areas that are deeply seated inside of you, which they're scary, but when we go see them and we shed light on them, we gather the learnings, the insight, we liberate them, and we transform them like an alchemy. Wow, this is what my client experienced. And this is what I've experienced also many times when I went to visit that. And I'm not saying that everyone in your family is willing to go that deep, but just start with asking these questions and wearing the love goggles. Give the people around you the benefit of the doubt. No one's out there to get you. Don't take anything personal. Don't assume that you know what's happening in people's inner worlds if you have not asked. So I invite you to create a transformational experience this holiday season, so that you can also finish 2019 and kind of close some unfinished businesses, especially around relationships. So you enter 2020 with this new energy, this fresh vibe, and not carry the baggage from 2019 and the last decade, really, right? Or the last 20 years, So I hope this serves you, and I'll be really curious to know what resonates in that for you. And please, please, please try it. Try asking just a few questions like this and expect the magic and the miracle to unfold. And if you feel like it, please share either below this video or write to me. It's always such an honor to read you and to expand the goodness and expand the love and the joy and the freedom and the lightness together, because I'm in this for you guys, and I'm in this for what I want to create in this world. And remember that when you take care of your body, when you take care of your mind, of your emotions, you also take care of the greater good, the collective, right? Because you and I every day are creating the world that we want to see. We're creating the world that the next generations are going to inherit. So let's be intentional about how we create that. And a lot of it starts with the emotions in our inner worlds. If you have difficulty creating that, reach out to me. That's my specialty, right? So I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Go out there, live to your full potential, love to your full potential. Don't hold back on love. Love is the most powerful emotion. Wear those love goggles and tell me where it leads. So, all right. Take care, you guys, and talk to you soon. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being my community for all these years. I love you, and let's talk again soon. All right. Bye.